Hi, I'm Nathan. I go by Peteparker, and every week I do comic book reviews because that's a rule around my house. If I want to keep buying them, then I have to review them. So this review is going to be for Northlanders, I believe, number 42. There's a lot more extra text up here. It's called the Icelandic Trilogy, Part 1, Settlement 871. This is written by Brian Wood and drawn by Paul Azaceta, I think. Yeah. So I've been hearing good things about Northlanders and wanted to give it a try, but at the same time, this was a huge week. I had 15 books or so that I bought at the same time, so I had to cut out some stuff. So I went to actually put this back on the shelf because it just didn't feel like the right time to jump in. And I noticed there were no more on the shelf, so I actually ended up buying it purely due to the fact that I was going to have to wait another month to get this, and that it was so popular that there weren't any more. So this is kind of a backstory about a specific character, Olaf Haukson, I guess, when his parents came to settle Iceland, and how violent a place it was and where all those people came from. Kind of, it seems like a backstory. It's definitely the beginning of a story. And it's also about how this kid started out being a kid, but his dad turned him into like a vicious warrior or whatever. And I'm assuming this is going to be him at some point. And if you probably follow the Northlanders book, then you probably know who that character is already. So it's probably a big reveal about the backstory of this character. But for me, it was a decent jumping on point because you got a new exposure to all these characters and what the situation was. I also actually liked the newspaper-ish or non-glossy pages that are in here. Reminds me a lot of Fables back when I read that for a long time. And the art is pretty good. There's a lot of simple lines, but there's also some oddities about faces, especially the young boy's face, that I didn't really love about it. The thing about this book in particular is it's kind of a period book, more or less, right? So you're talking about Viking-era people, and this is specifically going into Icelanders. So it kind of feels like, unless you like that stuff, then you may not like where this is going. It's a decent story. There's no real problems with it. There's no real problems with any of the art, and I enjoyed it, but I just don't know if it's another book that I need to start picking up and reading routinely, because it seriously hasn't hooked me in yet. I imagine at some point that I'll actually buy the early trades and try to get on from the beginning, and that'll probably make a big difference in the long run for this story. But for this specific thing, while this is a good jumping on point if you're wanting to get into it and you want to give it more than one issue of a shot, for me, I'm already collecting so many or buying so many every week that I don't know if I need a whole nother series to buy. So, and this one didn't hook me. I'll probably take a look at the next few to see whether or not I really want them, but for the most part I'm probably out of this series until I can find some cheap trades. But anyway, it's good. The good art, good story. I'd say it's above average. I can tell why a lot of people are really into it, but it just doesn't seem like this was the hook for me, and I'll be letting it go until the next time it gets another chance. So there you go. That'll be Northlanders number 42. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. So if you like that review or any of my other reviews, you can look for the rest of them at under Spidey207 on YouTube, or as Peteparker on either Comic Vine or the Marvel and DC databases, or the iFanboy website. That's pretty much where I post all these. And if you have any questions or comments, feel free to shoot them to me. I try to get back to everybody as best I can and address any comments or concerns, and I'm definitely open to any suggestions you have for how the podcast could change, or whatever this is called. Videocast? I don't know. YouTube videos? Who knows? But anyway, and I wanted to mention that next week I may not have these out for you guys. I'm going to be going to San Diego, so I don't know if I'm going to be doing it out there or not. If not, then we'll see the week after that, and if so, with a whole bunch of books. And if so, then you'll enjoy a different background than what you see here. Probably a hotel background, to be all honest. So there you go. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you later.